Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 6th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I am on a second wind, if you will, but we'll get to that. Overall, it's been a good day. Had a bit of a snag, but we got through it. Um, let's see. We'll start off with work. You know, we got up, got our ass to work as we are wont to do to get some money. We need it, but I had the night before I had picked up another energy drink, right, and swapped it for my usual Nas. So when my break came around where I like to eat, I had this C4 blue raspberry energy drink with my garden salsa sun chips. So I was ready to try this out, pop it open, take a drink. Gotta say, little drink bev review, very very tasty. It tastes exactly like a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher, which is the point, and they nail it. Very successful. Also worth noting, zero sugar. So we're talking like low calories. We're talking nice. We're talking diet. Let's go. No, but overall, just very powerful. Like I literally had to like eat my chips first before I, got back to the drink because I didn't want to like disrupt the flavor of either of the two things. It was just too strong. But so I get the drink down, of course, I eat, I'm good. I'm hanging out for like my little 15, and then I go to clock in and I start feeling it. Like I forget what it's called. I think it's called beta aline or something to that effect. But essentially, it was something in this energy drink that I think is supposed to like help your muscles, or I think it's also in like pre-workout. But essentially, it made my skin itch. It made me feel like I was being like lightly tased or electrocuted, like by just some kind of pranky thing. I don't know. It just felt terrible. Also, my stomach started wiling out. So and I know this is TMI, but I just literally wind up in a bathroom for like 30 minutes, just like just squirming, not happy. After that, I get back to my station, get back to my area, and I'm depleted. Like I'm exhausted. I have no energy, which is a cruel irony considering it's from an energy drink that has caused me to feel like this. I'm over here laid up in my little like cardboard buggies that I'm supposed to be emptying out, like just retching, not retching, lamenting. I don't know. It was not a good situation. So a quarter of my day is just tanked. I decide, okay, I know I don't want to eat. I know I'm on a diet. I'm supposed to be cutting, and generally been pretty good. But I was just like, I need something. I need sugar. I'll take whatever. So I go to my last break, and I get a Rice Krispie treat and a Gatorade, and that peps me up. That gives me enough energy to finish strong, get out of there, get to the gym because I was not giving up my gym time. Not for this. That would be the whole point. So I kind of get there. I feel like I'm kind of getting the second wind. As I get into my workout, I just regulate. I fully rally. I feel, and I'm good, and I'm solid, and I'm happy about that because whew, it was rough. It was just a rough little day just because of one energy drink. So, needless to say, my review is bad. Don't buy C4. I mean, hey, I think generally people who drink energy drinks, they know if the energy drinks that have that beta thing, like if it's gonna bother them or not. And I knew that there was a chance of that because I've had energy drinks like this before, had a very similar experience. And I was like, surely I'm going to be fine. Surely this is going to be a tasty drink. And awesome, awesome. Love that. Nope, it was not for me. So I would not suggest it. I would not drink it again. But, like I said, it did taste like blue raspberry. So, yeah, I mean, that was my day. Overall, outside of that little kerfuffle, everything was good. And, here we are, yapping it up. So we'll take it. Let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some news. I also have the same problem whenever I take niacin. I found that out, and that wasn't fun either. So, I just, that is such a terrible feeling. I don't know people who get that feeling. How do they overcome that? Like, I would just stop taking the thing, right? Like, that's me. I don't know people who go, no, I'm just going to tank this. Like, does it get better? I'm so curious. I don't, Life's little mysteries. And my millennial hat, my my millennial ass had to like Google like what's happening to me, and they're like, "You're gonna be fine. It usually only lasts for like about an hour, and then you're good." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And they're like, "Hey, next time, just like don't take as much of a dose of the thing." And I'm like, "Man, I'm trying to drink a whole energy drink. If I had to like half my measure just to like be a little less itchy, once again, I'm finding another energy drink. I'm so glad that at least Monster and Nas and hell, even Rockstar, that was actually the OG energy drink that got me in, that popped my cherry, if you will. None of those made me itch. So, hooray that. But anyway, enough about energy drinks. Let's get into some fucking news, some sad situations unfolding. From CNN, India strikes Pakistan in wake of Kashmir massacre. Pakistan says 3 Indian planes downed. And this is a bit of a live update situation, so a bit of a ticker we're going to read from. India said early Wednesday it had launched a military operation against Pakistan, hitting terrorist infrastructure, and they have that in quotations, in both Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir, in a major escalation between the two neighbors. 3 Indian Air Force planes and a drone were shot down in locations within Indian territory, Pakistani sources said. CNN cannot independently confirm the claims and has reached out to the Indian Ministry of Defense. Excuse me. A blast in Srinagar. A blast was also heard in the city of Srinagar in Indian-administered Kashmir, eyewitnesses told CNN. Srinagar is the largest city in Indian-administered Kashmir. India, which has a Hindu majority, and Pakistan, which is mostly Muslim, each control parts of Kashmir, but claim it in full and have fought 3 wars over the territory. Kashmir is one of the most militarized places in the world. The latest escalation comes after gunmen massacred 26 civilians in Indian-controlled Kashmir last month. India accused Pakistan of being involved in the attack and vowed to retaliate against those they deemed responsible. Islamabad denies the allegations. Now, I'm going to read for a little bit more here. According to Pakistani sources, at least 8 people were killed in Wednesday's operations, including women and children. Pakistani sources also said 3 Indian Air Force planes and a drone were shot down in locations within Indian territory. Now, CNN isn't, they said they can't confirm it. It's also worth noting that the Indian ministry said we only hit terrorist targets. Like that was the only thing we hit. We're for sure. And it's like, I mean, we've heard this rhetoric before from nation states. It's not a new tact, unfortunately. It is a shame that this is an escalation now that we are covering. It's not just a one-off situation and they're looking for the guys and justice and all that. No. It is now like, no, we have to retaliate. We said we were and we're going to. So, I'm sure we are going to be coming back to the region again, and there'll be more coverage to get to, unfortunately, here. But yeah, I wanted to start off with that. Let's take it to the States. We got a SCOTUS update from USA Today. In win for Trump, Supreme Court allows ban on transgender troops to take effect. The Supreme Court will allow President Donald Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military to take effect while court challenges continue. In a win for the president's efforts to curb rights for transgender people, an ideologically divided court on May 6th agreed to the administration's request for help after lower courts paused the ban. I like how they're saying divided here, but it's like a 6-3 divide, which we've talked about plenty of fucking times. Now, the people that we know rejected the bill were Sotomayor, Justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson. These are the usual suspects. We know that. And I'm glad that they at least did this. But in this situation, the justices who backed the decision to ban it, they don't have to reveal themselves, which I think is fucking cowardice. I don't get why. Also, it's like, did any of you guys deny it? It doesn't seem like anyone came out and said, no, I denied it. So what's the point of using this cloak, like this veil of secrecy? Just say it with your fucking chest. I don't understand. We're booing you anyway, right? At least I fucking am. I think this is stupid. It is an expansion of a really bad policy that we are trying to do, which is essentially saying, oh, you aren't a person. They're saying, nope, the way you identify is wrong and it's not okay and you can't do it in the military. So you're done. Which is crazy because this is essentially shooting yourself in the foot if you're the military, right? Like, you are losing people who actively want to serve. Like, that's something you should want. And that's crazy. Like, look, I'm not here to fucking root for the military industrial complex or whatever the fuck. No, tomatoes for that shit too. But you have people actively wanting to put their lives on the line, and all they want to do is just be accepted. Just be treated as a human being as they fucking should. And they're like, no, we don't like that. And we have the Supreme Court going, yeah, go off, King. Go off, Orange Man. You got it. You just keep cooking. So I find this to be unfortunate. And, it's a shame. It's a blow to civil rights of transgender people, period. And I think it's going to be something that's like one of those milestones or flagstaffs. So you just kind of see people planting and then saying, okay, now we're going to move to take this thing from you. We're going to try to move this thing from you. And it's all marked on the same fucking DEI fucking bullshit, that this is woke, radical nonsense. And we're trying to get back to common sense. It's bullshit to me. It's fucking populist bullshit, and it's always a shame whenever I hear from people who are like, no, like, I actually do get this. I get what Trump's saying here. It's like, what are you talking about? You sound insane. Like, why do people want to insert themselves in other people's lives just for some shit that they're like, oh, I'm just kind of confused about it, and it's just so different from me, that it just seems kind of like bad. Like, I'm not even religious, but it just feels a little funky. Like, and it doesn't matter to me if you're religious, because it's like, okay, no, I'm choosing to eschew loving and treating people the way I know that they should be treated because my God said so. Okay, dude, that sounds like a really fucking bad coat, but go ahead, put it in the kitchen, see what happens. Go cook with that. Y'all know this is not a surprising thing that we are going to come and talk to the shit again and again and again. So I have to do the update. I have to talk my shit. It's just automatic. You know how it fucking goes. But yeah, boo, just SCOTUS. SCOTUS these nuts. Anyway, let's move along. Let's hit the next thing. From the Associated Press. What customers can expect as Rite Aid closes or sells all its drugstores. Rite Aid customers can expect their local store to close or change ownership in the next few months as the struggling drugstore chain goes through another bankruptcy filing. The company plans to sell customer prescription files, inventory, and other assets as it closes distribution centers and unloads store locations. Stores will remain open for now, but the company isn't buying new inventory, so bare shelves are likely to become more common. I think what we'll progressively see is the stores will become more and more Spartan, said, why did they use that word? Sorry. Said retail analyst Neil Saunders. Like, this isn't 300, bro. This is a fucking Rite Aid. What the fuck? Can I get soda here or not? What are we fucking talking about? Put the fucking prescription in the bag. Spartan? Whatever. My bad. The company runs 1,245 stores in 15 states. According to its website, it has a heavy presence in New York, Pennsylvania, and California, which alone has 347 companies. They talk about what the stores can expect. Will your prescription... Yeah, what's going to happen to your prescription records? I feel like this is important to read. Rite Aid will try to sell them to another drugstore, grocer, or retailer with a pharmacy. That feels illegal. I'm sure that it is legal to do. I mean, you can do almost everything in America, whatever, especially if you have the money, if you're the corporation. Anyway, but this just feels strange. Like, what do you mean you're selling my prescription and, like, information? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, the company says it is working to put together a smooth transfer of customer prescriptions to other pharmacies. but there's no guarantee those files will wind up at a retailer near the location that is closing, which seems to be the only productive thing that we would get out of that, right? That may be challenging because some Rite Aid stores are in rural areas, miles away from another pharmacy, noted Saunders, managing director of the consulting and data analysis firm Global Data. Prescription files can be valuable assets because they can connect the acquiring drugstore with a regular customer if that person sticks with the new store. They talk about how Rite Aid got to this point. I don't know if I covered this in 2023. Real ones, real newsies, real long-term listeners, they might know better than I do, or I would. If I didn't, I mean, oopsie daisy. But here we are now, and we're back, and we're filing again, and it looks more serious this time. But I mean, yeah, I initially, when I was like trying to go through my brain to figure out if I did, I'm like, I know we covered Walgreens. They get mentioned here. Also, CVS Health is also closing stores, which apparently we learned when we were doing the Walgreens covers, that CVS is actually doing better than Walgreens, which surprised me personally, because Walgreens is like the corporation I guess I pick, the pharmacy I go to get my shit whenever I'm sicko mode, or back in my asthma days. I still have it, but I don't really deal with it. I'm fine. I'm good. But anyway, so it doesn't look like it's good for any of the pharmacies. I think retail is taking a dive. I think even without this trade war bullshit that we have fucking all around us looming, only potentially getting even fucking worse, all of these companies were slated to potentially be bellied up. I've said this before and I'll say it again. None of these motherfuckers are empires, and even if they were fucking empires, they don't last for forever. It's not infinite. I think as consumers, especially even as American consumers, we think that like there's just no way these companies go down. There's just no way. They're forever. I'm gonna always be able to go to Walgreens forever. Rite Aid is forever. I've never been in one in like so many years, but like Rite Aid's forever. No, none of the shit is, dude. So you just keep your shit on a swivel, and hopefully your prescriptions are gonna go to a good place, your records at least. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, if there's any more out of Rite Aid, we will go back to that. I have one more story that I wanted to cover, and I mean, it's not positive, but it's not really negative, at least not in my mind, at least not as of yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break and serve up some more news, a merger, if you will, a combination order. Ooh wee. Excuse me. I was taking my time there a little bit. Now, I got this from like a bit of an offshoot site, U.S. News, I believe. Hold on, let me get a little closer. It's got some fine print. Yeah, U.S. News and World Report, whatever. I know you can find this on Reuters, but they have started paywalling really hard lately. And I'm not going to give them $1 a week. Sorry, Reuters. No, you can get it how you live, just like me. Anyway, Doordash, UK's Deliveroo, serve up $3.9 billion deal to take on rivals. A U.S. meal delivery firm Doordash will buy Deliveroo in a deal valuing the British rival at about, about 2.9 billion pounds, or 3.85 billion dollars. The company said, banking on a bigger reach and local expertise to take on competition. I believe when I was listening to the BBC, I heard that DoorDash was valued at 80 billion. I might be wrong. Don't come for me. Don't quote me. But so definitely this is a situation of big company taking on, or taking up a little company. Womp womp womp. It's not a monopoly. Don't worry. There's a lot of competition. There's Uber and blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. But I found this to be interesting. Y'all know I used to be a former DoorDash employee, or I was a free contractor, whatever they fucking tried to say, so that I had to do stupid ass fucking 1099s. Um, let's read a little bit more. Separately on Tuesday, DoorDash said it would buy 7rooms, a New York city-based hospitality-related software company, for about $1.2 billion. The company's spending spree comes at a time when similar businesses have struggled to add scale, with consumers being mindful about spending on pricey food deliveries. Both companies rekindled talks last month after DoorDash approached Deliveroo with an 180 pence share proposal. Y'all know I don't fucking talk in pence, so y'all just have to figure that out, which was confirmed on Tuesday as the final offer, sending Deliveroo shares up about 2%. Now, from what I've heard, Deliveroo wasn't really doing great. I think that they were like doing okay in the area, but like I think overall maybe their numbers were slumping. Once again, I'm kind of just pulling those from what I kind of scantily gathered or remembered from earlier today from the BBC. But essentially, this deal kind of comes at a situation where we're like, okay, we're ready to talk. Maybe we're ready to be really bought, and it looks like the deal got done. I think it's still it needs approval by 75% of the shareholders from Deliveroo. So that is relevant. That might be a potential snag for the deal. You never know. But I mean, I haven't heard anything about like, anyone being worried about it. Let's see here. Panmure Liberum analysts highlighted the notable absence of Deliveroo's largest shareholder, Amazon, from this list, adding that they still see Amazon as the most likely counter bidder. So that might be, I guess, the snag there. Amazon, which has a 14.38% stake in Deliveroo, declined to comment. So that might be something that potentially, makes it a thing, but like I said, just kind of in the international sense, not just talking about the UK. Like I mentioned, Uber, which has been seeing strong growth in its food delivery unit, said on Tuesday it would acquire an 85% stake in Turkish e-commerce firm Trendyol's online food delivery business for about $700 million. So, I mean, I kind of thought of like, hey, post-COVID, post the pandemic, people are not ordering as much, especially with the economy tanking over time. Things just getting harder and harder and harder. We had to go through inflation. That shit looked like it was getting a little bit better, but now we're in the middle of a fucking tariff trade war bullshit. So I think there's less people using DoorDash and Uber and all of these services. But that being said, they are still being used. These companies like Uber and DoorDash definitely netted a big chunk of change doing what they do, even though I don't know how profitable they're, whatever. But essentially, they're big corporations at this point, and I think that they're trying to throw their weight around in like the international sense, make a little bit more reach, and probably for them make a little bit more money. I don't fucking know, but time's gonna tell. We'll see. And I guess right now would be the best time. I mean, I don't think there's really anyone saying, hey, you guys shouldn't be doing this. You guys are like almost monopolizing. I mean, maybe it's possible from like, an international country to maybe come up and say something to DoorDash or something like that in the future, but we'll see. We shall see. And also being honest with me, I'm keeping my econ hat on here. I don't feel like it is necessarily monopoly as of yet. I mean, it's definitely like, what are you going to do as a little company and they're actually like throwing a big enough number at you? You're just going to take it, right? I mean, you know what I love saying? My favorite saying, we live in a capitalist society. So like, what are you going to do? You got to play ball. So, I think you still have the two big ones and then you have these little ones that kind of come up almost waiting to get bought. I mean, it's very similar to like Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram, all that kind of bullshit, kind of tech, yada, yada, yada. So, I don't know. Interesting to kind of talk about that, give my 2 cents on that, blah, 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 a little. You know how it goes. That will be the episode for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free action, helps out. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Leave a like, leave a comment, hopefully a nice comment. It's always nice to see a nice comment. It's always appreciated. I don't always get to them, but I do try to check them, and it makes me happy to see the little notification like, oop, someone cares. So that's nice. I always appreciate that. Thank you. Sharing is caring, but I really just appreciate you listening. It's always a vibe. It's always nice. It's always good to know someone's on the other end hearing me yap, hearing me blah blah. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.